So yesterday we started with a new chapter. What is the chapter name? Yes, return of income. Yes, we started a new chapter that is return of income. Within that chapter, already we done few sections. First section we discussed 139 subsection 1. What is the content of that section? Who is required to file return of income and when they are required to file the return, that we discussed. Then after we have different types of returns. Yes, that is, I think loss return we discussed, belated return we discussed, loss return also, belated return also we discussed. 139.3 is talking about loss return, 139.4 is talking about belated return, right? Okay, now I think in workbook we discussed how many questions as of now? 2. Shall we discuss third question directly? My workbook, please open question number 3. So again same question, they are given some cases, they are asking whether return of income is required to file or not. Whether we are required to file the return of income or not. So now we can take the first question. Please read. Ellen is a resident individual. Aged how many years? How many years? 81 years. Remember, why age is important? If he following the normal tax rate, his basic exemption limit will be 5 lakh. Otherwise, default tax regime means 4 lakh. Now, how much total income? 3 lakh 10,000. So he claimed chapter 6A deduction also under section 8DC 1 lakh 50. And he has a long-term capital gain taxable under 112A. Yes, but clearly they given he opted the which tax rate ma? Normal. So if normal tax rates he opted, what is that basic exemption limit? Ma, what is the basic exemption limit? 5 lakh. So we have to compare the basic exemption limit and what ma? Gross total income. Please tell me what is that gross total income? What is the gross total income? Total income they given after removing 1,50,000 we got total income 3,10,000. So if I am adding the chapter 6A reductions to this total income, I will get what ma? Gross total income. Please tell me how much? 4 lakh? How much? 4 lakh? 60,000. 60. Yeah. 4 lakh 60,000. If you observe, our gross total income is less than the what? Basic exemption limit. Many of the students are asking, sir, we have to add capital gain. No. Gross total income means it includes all heads of income. Already within this we included the capital gain amount. Don't include again. Gross total income means what? Aggregation of 5 heads. Already long-term capital gain included in that only. So what is that answer we have to write? Whether return is required to file or return not required to file? Return not required to file. Please check the answer. What is that answer they are given? Ma? Please check it out. Not required to file the return of income. Yes, we are also computed the gross total income, that is 4,60,000. Basic exemption limit 5 lakh. So that's why there is no requirement to file the return. Remember, here already they given one note point, like one mentioned point. Long-term capital gain already included in the what? Gross total income. So next, there is one more question they included in the question number A itself. Sir, based on this point, he is not required to file return, right? Based on this point, he is not required to file the return. But again, they given one information. SSE incurred the electricity bill, how much amount? 1,05,000. Already you know special transactions. If an electricity expenditure exceeds how much ma? 1 lakh. Here exceeds or not? Yes. So that's why mandatorily SSE is required to file. So that's why yes, our answer will change or remain same. Our answer will change here. If an SSE incurred the consumption of electricity related expenditure more than how much ma? 1 lakh, definitely he is required to file the return for this assessment year. Shall we go with the B point ma? Yes, now you have to tell me without my help what is that answer for the B point. Repeated one ra. Partnership form. So partnership firm, company, LLP, mandatorily they are required to file the return. But that too, they haven't lost. Yes, if they haven't lost, if they file loss return, then only they can carry forward this loss to the upcoming years. Understood? So here return of income is required or not required? Ma? Return of income is required. Sir, again I am saying one word answers you will not get sufficient mark. They are asking along with the reason. Yes, along with the reason. You have to write it down whatever that answer we know. Sir, maybe we can write in some other manner. That means grammar mistakes or spelling mistakes, anything also they will not at all consider. That keywords they will check it out. And whatever you are going to write in exam, that is correct only. First you have to write it down first. First conclusion, then after why we are required to file, why we are not required to file the return. That's enough. In your own words, you can write it down. Many students are trying to by head whatever the matter they given in the suggested answers, not required. But gross total income, you want to mention gross total income means you need to write the word of gross total income only. The keywords you should present, the remaining things you can write in your own way. Basic exemption limit, you should write basic exemption limit word. Gross total income word. Exceeds. That words you have to present. The remaining words, okay, you can use anyhow. Now, see. Tell me, ma. One association eligible exemption under section 10 subsection 23B. They has an income from house property 4,30,000. Tell me, ra. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Association exemption under section 10. They have an house property income. Before claiming the exemption under section 10, if their total income exceeds the what ma? Basic exemption limit. What is the basic exemption limit for the association of persons? Ra? AOP ra, association of persons. Okay, what is that? If they are following 115 BSc, 4 lakh. Otherwise, 2,50,000. Here, we are not at all get any information regarding which regime. Just assumption 115 BSc. Yes, even the 115 BSc also, that is more than 4 lakh only. If you are following that old regime also, that is more than 2.5 lakh. In this case, definitely that association is required to file the what return or not required to file? Required to file. Yes, they are required to file the return. Remember, simply if you observe, open 139.4C ma. 139.4C. Yes, that is only in our handwritten also we discussed. Yes, this is only association. Yes, news agencies institution under section 10. Before claiming exemption under section 10, if they have an total income exceeds the basic exemption limit, they are required to file the return. This is only we are used in this. Next question, please read ma. Again they are given the individual related. Williams, how many years of age ma? 51 years of age, is an employee. Salary 2,40,000 before standard deduction. Income from the savings bank account is 20,000. Interest on public provident fund is 68,000. So please calculate the gross total income for me. Here SSE is following which regime? They are not given. So if they are not given means we have to take what 115 BSc, that is a default one. What is the standard deduction? Do you know what is the standard deduction in 115 BAC? 75,000. In normal, 50. So, okay, 2,40,000 is a gross salary minus 75,000 standard deduction. How much? 1 lakh? 1,65,000 is an salary income. Next, one more income is there under income from other sources. Interest from savings bank account deposits, that is an 20,000. Interest on public provident fund amount, it is exempt, not taxable. Remember, it is exempt under section 10 subsection 11. If you don't know this point, entire answer also will collapse. Public provident fund deposits, if you done on that, if you get any interest, that interest is not taxable, that interest is exempt. So now, what is that gross total income? Please let me know. What is that gross total income? 1,85,000. How much? 1,85,000. If it is 1,85,000, what is that ma? Gross total income. This gross total income we have to compare with the what? Basic exemption limit. What is that basic exemption limit under 115 BSc? 4 lakh. So now you can tell me whether we are required to file the return or not required. Not required. And yes sir, if you want to calculate the total income also, minus here we can take the one deduction 80 TTA, savings bank account related interest. If you have, you will get 80 TTA chapter 6A deduction. Yes sir, what is that? Actual interest are 10,000, whichever is lower. But okay, you can compute in this way, but remember one more thing, in exam what we have to compare, whether return is required to file or not required to file. In exam, gross total income and the basic exemption limit only you have to compare. So answer, can you tell me what is that required or not required? Not required. Sir, here they are not mentioned anything about the regime. That's why I am taking an assumption he is following 115 BSc. Almost in every question they will give. If they are not given, what is the default one? That is only they are going to follow. Yes. If you observe, what is that gross total income we got? 1,85,000. We also got the 1,85,000, right? And that we have to compare with the 115 BSc basic exemption limit. How much? 4 lakh. Does not exceed or exceed? Does not exceed. So that's why return is not required to file. And next two questions are there. But this is a question given in December 2023 attempt for 8 marks in old syllabus. Okay. E. A public trust, remember trust, having an hospital, aggregate annual receipts is 505 lakh, and they want to avail the exemption under section 10 subsection 23C clause 6A. How much exemption they want to claim? 3,10,000. They have a total income of how much? 2,40,000. So trust related point we discussed 139.4A. What is that? Total income before exemption if exceeds what? Basic exemption limit. Now you have to check first what is the basic exemption limit for trust. Trust is an AJP. If they are following 115 BSc, basic exemption limit will be 4 lakh. Otherwise, 2.5 lakh. Now, this is a total income, but before claiming exemption, please check it out. What is the total income? 5,50,000. After exemption, this is a total income, but before exemption, what is the total income? 2,40,000 plus 3,10,000. What is the total income before exemption? 5,50,000. That is more than the basic exemption limit or not? Yes. We have to check the total income before exemption under section 11. Here exemption taken 3,10,000. After exemption total income is 2,40,000. But before exemption 5,50,000. Understood? Clearly they given what is that exemption, sir? Maybe you haven't doubt, sir. Here you are writing 10, 11 exemption, sir. But here section 10 subsection exemption is given. Both are same, ra. Trust related 11 section, institution if they are given section 10. Both are one and the same only. In trust chapter you will get more clarity. Trust and institution, both the things will be there. Trust will take 11 section exemption. Institution will take section 10 exemption. One and the same, one and the same. Now tell me, before exemption how much ma? 5,50,000. That is more than basic exemption limit. That's why we are required to file the return. Trust is required to file the return. But what is the due date? But trust related, definitely audit will be there. That's why due date will be 31st October. For trust, always audit will be there. If they want to claim exemption, definitely books of accounts must be audited. That's why you have to take the 31st October. Next, last question in this. Yes, registered trade union having the income from let out property, how much? 1 lakh. Registered trade union having the income from the let out property 1 lakh. Sir, what is that basic exemption limit we can take, ma? Simply, yes. What is the basic exemption limit we can take? 4 lakh or 2,50,000 we can take. But remember, registered trade union related income from house property is exempt. Remember, trade unions will be there, like whatever the trade unions are, some vegetables trade unions also, or fruits related, any trade union. So different sellers are forming together as an union. They will, yes sir, they will take one building or any other things also. If any rental income, if they are received from that buildings, that is exempt under which section, ma? 10 subsection 24. But now please tell me, before this exemption we have to check the total income. Before this exemption, what is the total income, ra? 1 lakh only. Still that is below the basic exemption limit. Always we have to check the exemption before total income. If this exemption, if you claimed also before that, what is that income they have? 1 lakh only. That is below the basic exemption limit or above, ra? Below. So that's why there is no mandatory requirement to file the return. In above case also, before exemption we have to check. Before exemption, can you tell me 5,50,000? Here before exemption itself, how much you will get? 1 lakh. Sir, this is an important question. Before exam day also, you have to refer at least once. In your weekend also, definitely I will give this. The reason that many students can do the mistake in many questions. Reason, first, here they can do mistake, they will add a capital gain amount into the total income again. So that is an already added. In second question, so partnership firm, anyhow they will write. This is a mistake they can do. They don't know basic exemption limit for associations. That is 2,50,000 in case of normal, in case of default 4 lakh. And in this question also, what is a mistake they can do? They don't know the provision about interest on public provident fund. Interest, if anything is arises on public provident fund, that is what exempt. Next one, they don't know trust related basic exemption limit again. Trust basic exemption limit is 4 lakh in case of 115 BSc, normal in case of, so normal regime in case how much, ma? 2.5 lakh. The last one they are going to get confusion, it is exempt. But before exemption, can you tell me what is the total income? 1 lakh. It is less than the basic exemption limit, not required to file the return. Now, immediately we can go with the question number 4. Question number 4. It is a somewhat advanced question, but we can discuss easily. Question number 4. Read. మీకు ఇప్పటికి డిఫరెన్స్ అర్థమై ఉండాలి. ఇప్పుడు కింద జూన్ బ్యాచ్ ఉంది కదా, వాట్ ఎవర్ ద జూన్ బ్యాచ్ ఈస్ దేర్. సో అవుట్ ఆఫ్ దేర్ 77 or 78 strength, always 20 to 30 students will read properly without our help also. Just okay, whatever the class we delivered, they will read on their own and they will prepare on their own. Everyday syllabus, till 11 p.m. also, or girls maybe up to 9. They will at any cost. If papers are given from any other syllabus also, they will pass. The remaining, no, you can't ask me also, you can't ask with them also why you are not passed in that upcoming attempts. In your batch also, the same thing will repeat. So until the last day of the syllabus, or for every class, some only will attend. All are paying the fees, all are getting the same benefits, all are getting the same access. But the difference is nothing but dedication. But we have an obligation or responsibility or pressure, whatever we have, we can deliver. Okay, if we are unable to deliver, we can recruit any other, and other persons also can deliver. But in your side or from your side, there is no other alternative. You should study. Otherwise, next year you should study. For next attempt also you should study. If there is any alternative, then you can go now itself. This is only the difference. Not only in this generation, from our generation also the same thing. 1200 strength in our CA inter and foundation classes. I think on the 2013 I entered into CPT. Okay, 1200 class strength in Vijayawada. Out of that, finally, I think 10 or 20 members qualified. The remaining ఇప్పటికీ చదువుతున్న వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు. ఇప్పటికీ చదువుతున్న వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు. నా ఏజ్ 31. ఇప్పటికీ చదువుతున్న వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు. అర్థమైందా? అది మీ ఇష్టం. వదలలేరు. వదిలితే ఏంటి, మళ్ళీ లైఫ్ అంతా గిల్ట్ వస్తుంది. తొందరగా అయిపోతే ఏదో ఒకటి చేయొచ్చు. ఇంకా అది మీ ఇష్టం. CMAలో ఎక్కువ మంది ఉంటారు అలా. కొంతమంది మెసేజ్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు, సార్ నాకు మ్యారేజ్ అయింది, 2 పిల్లలు ఉన్నారు, ఇప్పుడు నేను చదువుకుంటున్నా, ఇప్పుడున్న క్లాస్లో పిల్లలకి చెప్పండి సార్, చదువుకోకపోతే నా అలా బాధపడతారని. ఆ స్క్రీన్ షాట్స్ కూడా ఉంటాయి, అప్పుడప్పుడు గ్రూప్లో వదులుతాయి ఎప్పుడో ఒకసారి. అబ్బాయిలు చెప్తారు, అమ్మాయిలు చెప్తారు, సేమ్ థింగ్. మన CMA క్లాసెస్ కొనేది 90% ఆఫ్ వర్కింగ్ ప్రొఫెషనల్స్, అది గుర్తుంచుకోండి. ఈజీగా అయిపోద్ది పేరే, ఈజీగా అయిపోద్ది అన్న పేరు మాత్రమే, అవ్వదు ఈజీగా. ఎవడన్నా చెప్తే అడిగి చెప్పండి క్లియర్గా, సూపర్ 30లు సూపర్ 50లు ఇవన్నీ అయితే అవుద్దంటే అడిగి చెప్పండి క్లియర్గా. అవ్వట్లేదు, అది అప్పుడు బాబు నువ్వు రాసినప్పుడు అని. అర్థమైందా? ఎవడో ఒకడు అవుతాడు అంతే. ఆ రోజుకు వాడికి ఏదో అందో, లేకపోతే ఏదో ఒకటి MCQs అందే అయితే అవుతాయి. అంత ఈజీగా అయితే అవ్వదు. ఆ ఇమాజినేషన్స్ ఉంటే అవన్నీ వదిలేయండి. లాస్ట్ డే వరకు వస్తే అదే అయిపోద్ది. అదర్వైజ్ అసలు వాళ్ళ గురించి మనం థింక్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. మనం అంటే నేను, సారీ. నెక్స్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ నెంబర్ what ma? 4. What is the age of the SSC ma? 49. Remember, in every question we have to check status of the SSC. If he is an individual, age we have to check that. In every question, not only this chapter. If they are given the company question, company, domestic company or foreign company. If they are given individual, resident or non-resident, yes. Okay. What is the business? They are engaged in the business of growing, curing, roasted and grounding of what ma? Coffee. I think in your intermediate you have one provision, composite income. Now we can apply that knowledge. After they are mixing the one chemical or one product, they are selling these things, they are generating how much income? 6 lakh. Sir, after they are producing the coffee, they are mixing one product, finally they are selling it as one end product. How much they are getting? 6 lakh. So for this year, only this is a source of income for them. So now she consult you, they have to take your opinion. So if you present for the class, then you can say opinion. Otherwise, how you can say opinion? But they are asking your opinion. She is required to file the what ma? Return of income. They are asking, sir, do I need to file the return or not required to file? I think you know, if this business is there, this is a composite business activity. Out of this, yes, this is an whatever the profits we earned from this, we have to apportion in a ratio. For this business, what is the ratio? 60 ma 40. 60% is an agricultural income, 40% is an business income. Please apportion and tell me ma, 3,60,000 this one, and this is an 2,40,000. How much ma? 2,40,000. Now we have to check. It is completely exempt, right? It is exempt. And it is only the taxable. It is only included in our it is only included in our gross total income. Now I have to compare the gross total income versus the basic exemption limit. What is the basic exemption limit here? They are given any regime related, ra? Any regime also, ra? Okay, normally 4 lakh, otherwise how much ma? 2.5 lakh. Still gross total income is less than the what, ra? Basic exemption limit. Sir, how you can say this is only the income? Clearly they given. There is no other income in the hands of SC. Only one income they have during this year. So that's why that too that is less than the what, basic exemption limit. Now required or not required to file return? Not required to file return. Yes. Now if you observe, yes ma, you have to write it down first. Generally, what we have to check, they are not required to file the return of income. Why we are taking the 40%? It is only the business income component. 40% of our composite income totally 40%. If it is under plus what ma? Other sources. Here other sources amount is what? 0. In our example, 40% of this and other sources income we have to take. Other source income is 0 if that is equal or less than the basic exemption limit. Equal or less than the what ma? Basic exemption limit. Simply your business income and other sources related income is less than the basic exemption limit. We are not required to file the return. Sir, if you don't know this percentage, we can't do the question. In PCBP, I will tell you these percentages again. But in this question, please remember, if they are doing the growing, curing, roasting and grounding, 4 activities related to coffee, that business portion is 40%, agriculture portion is 60%. Understood? Sir, this is you have to forget. This and other income, we have to take it as GTI. If it is less than or equal to, here what ma? Less than. Okay. That is, if you compared, you will get how much ma? 2,40,000. That is less than or more than? Less than 2,50,000 or 4 lakh. If they are not given anything, you can compare with both the things, no problem. Suppose in exam, if it is, the example, if you got an 3,60,000 ma, instead of 2,40,000, if you got 3,60,000, you have to write answer in 2 ways. The first one, under default tax regime, not required to file. In normal tax rates, he is required to file. That both the answers you should write. But luckily, here we got less than everything. So that's why in both the regimes is not required. But if that answer is 3,60,000, then in default tax regime, not required. In normal tax rates, definitely he is required to file. Both the answers you should write it down in an exam. Understood? Next. So now answer is what ma? Not required or required? Not required. Again, next question. They are asking one more. What would your answer if he traveled to USA during the year and if he incurred 2,20,000? Foreign travel expenditure if it exceeds 2 lakh during the year. But I haven't doubt. For himself or for his family members purpose also he can incur both. For himself also, for his family members also if he incur, we have to check the 2 lakh. Not for individual purposes, along with his family members, if he incurred any foreign travel expenditure more than or equal to, more than 2 lakh. Here exceeded or not exceeded? Exceeded. Our answer will change or same? Change. Definitely he is required to file the return of income. Till now we are in the questions of 139.1 only. That is very, very important provision. Next, question number 5 also we can discuss now. Question number 5 also we can discuss now. Please start reading, ma. Again they are asking the whether return is required to filed or not. They are asking along with the what, ma, reasons. All of you please read this question number A, and the final conclusion please tell me. Final conclusion means nothing but whether return is required or not required. Please tell me final conclusion. I don't want explanations from your side. Just please tell me whether return is required or not required to file. Any idea? Ma, SSC is also, we know, and he is an ROR, and he owns an house property in outside India, and he having one bank account also in outside India. He is only purchased that house. If he purchased that house, for that house is an whom beneficial owner. He is an beneficial owner. So just if you are verifying his total income, ma, what is that basic exemption limit normally? Okay, 4 lakh in 115 BSc. Generally how much? 3 lakh. Because his age is 70 years. Still less than the basic exemption limit, right? Not required. Generally, if he is not required to file the return, but if that SSC is having the bank account or any asset outside India, for that bank account if he have a signing authority, for that asset if he is a beneficiary or beneficial owner, he is required to file the return. Okay, many are asking again, I will give you the clarity here. Resident and ordinary resident is not required to file the return. Here also if you verified, he is not required to file the return only, based on the what, basic exemption limit and total income comparison. But if he is a resident and ordinary resident, if he have an asset in outside India, if he have a bank account in outside India, anyone is enough. But here SSC having both the things. So now our answer is what? SSC is required or not required to file? Required to file the return for that assessment year, mandatory. Now second question you can check and tell me, which case? For that bank account he haven't signing authority, that's okay. But for that asset now in this question, he is a beneficiary or beneficial owner? Beneficial owner. Why? He is only purchased that house. He is only paying the consideration for acquisition of that asset. That's why he is a beneficial owner. Next one. Radha is an Indian resident. Rental income she receives 30,000 per month. How much? 30,000 per month. Now she purchased a car with the 28 lakh on the TCS was collected. How much? So please calculate what is the TCS amount. 28,000. Radha is Indian resident. She receives the how much rental income per month? How much? 30,000, right? Okay. Just I will show you. Sir, here TCS applied. How much TCS she paid? 28,000. But okay, sir, she receiving the rental income. While receiving the rental income, maybe payer will deduct the TDS, right? Payer maybe will deduct the TDS, right? Okay. You have a handwritten notes. Please open the TDS and TCS chapter. I think you will get that chapter at the end. Okay. I will tell you the page number. But generally the page number if you are 544 and 545. Ma TDS and rent related threshold limits we have, and how much ma? 50,000 per month. Amendment is there in both the provisions. Now how much threshold limit ma? 50,000. That means per month if you are receiving 50,000 more, then only they will deduct the TDS. Here how much we are receiving? 30,000. There is no TDS. Understood? Just I am comparing this. In this case there is no TDS. What is the reason why there is no TDS on this rental income? Threshold limit is 50,000. Our SSE is receiving only how much? 30,000 only. Understood this one also? Now, in your hands during the previous year, if TDS TCS is collected more than or equal to 25,000, you are required to file the return. If Radha is senior citizen, we have to check the limit of how much ma? 50,000. But she is not a senior citizen. Now we have to verify how much ma? 25,000. More than that collected or not? Yes, definitely she required to file the return mandatorily. Sir, definitely I don't know, while they are setting the question paper, they given everything is easy. Sir, in this section they mention TCS rate, but you should learn this TCS rate. So this section for the TCS I will show you 206C subsection 1F. If you are purchasing the motor vehicles, if that motor vehicle price is more than 10 lakh, on that we have to collect the TCS at the rate of 1%. But whoever setting the question paper, they are giving the help also, rate also they given. That's why we can calculate easily. If they are not given also, yes, TCS under section, what is that ma? 206C subsection 1F. What is the TCS rate? Sale of motor vehicles under notified goods. What is that ma? 1%. So nothing but while they are setting the question paper, they can give this some hints. So how many marks they are given this? This is an past exam question. So December 2023 old only. Yes, how many marks? This is a question they given for 8 marks. 8 akka. If you have any doubt, yes, within your hands, I think mobile is there. You can download question paper December 23. Old syllabus. Clear? Now, please open question number 7. Please open question number 7. So Manu furnishes the information for the previous year 25-26. What are the incomes? Loss from business, loss from capital gain heads related, loss from house property. Does Manu is required to submit the return? There is no compulsion for the filing of return in this case. If she want to carry forward the losses to the next assessment year, we are recommended to file the return on or before the due date. Yes, for these two things I will say always what ma, you have to file the return on or before due date. So what are the 4 losses related? We have to file the loss return on or before the due date. Business loss, that may be speculative, non-speculative, specified. Long-term capital loss or short-term capital loss. Losses from owning and maintaining of what ma? Race horses. Okay. Now, if these are all are there, if you want to carry forward, you have to file the return on or before the what ma? Due date. But we haven't 2 losses. What are the 2 losses? House property loss, unabsorbed depreciation. You can file loss return after due date also, but loss return filing is mandatory. Even after due date also okay. Even after due date also okay. So next, what are the consequences for filing of not filing of return ma? You are unable to carry forward these losses to the next year. What is the due date? The same date like in 139.1. If audit was there, 31st October. If audit was not there, 31st 7. Please read the answer once more. Next. Please open next concept from our handwritten. Page number. Yes. Page number 33, relaxation from filing of return. So at 139 1C now we want to take. In section 139 1C, relaxation from filing of return of income. Relaxation from filing of what ma? Return of income. Listen, in these two cases only, yes, government, nothing but central government can give the relaxation from filing of return. Yes, you are required to file return, to be honest, but we are given the what relaxation. What are the cases? The first case is very easy. Central government can give the notification related to this directly every year. Those persons directly will get the relaxation. So nothing but if any flood affected areas also, or income is below the some limits, they can give the some category of persons list in the notifications, they can get directly relaxation. Second one, can you tell me who is that? Specified senior citizen. Who is that? Specified senior citizen. Please tell me, specified senior citizen means whom? Senior citizen means I know already. What is that age? 60 years or more. 60 or more. But what do you mean by the specified senior citizen? 80 or more isn't super senior citizen or very senior citizen. Senior citizen means 60 or more. Very or super means nothing but 80 or more. But here I want to know specified. Remember, specified senior citizen means resident having the age of how many years? 75 years or more. For this section only, we need to know the specified senior citizen definition. Resident having how many years or more? 75 years or more. Next, he having only two incomes. One is pension income. Second one is interest on deposits. First one is an pension income. Second one is an interest on deposits. Are 75 years means he's a retired employee. Maybe he will get pension income from the past, whatever the job he done. Now, and if he having any deposits in the bank, he will get the interest from the deposits. But one more condition, these two things must be credited to the same bank account. These two things must be credited to the same bank account. That bank is known as what? A specified bank. Example, I haven't deposits in SBI. Now pension amount also credited to SBI. Now SBI is called as what? A specified bank. Now our SSC, who is a specified senior citizen, can give the one declaration to this bank. What is the declaration? I have only these two incomes, sir. Only these two incomes. If any tax is required to be deducted from your side, you can deduct, no issue. Like the declaration if he given, now specified bank will deduct the TDS under section what ma 194P. In TDS chapter again we'll discuss that section. In that section we will write everything again. 194P. If any specified senior citizen is maintaining the bank accounts in your bank, if he is required to pay any tax, we can deduct the TDS under section 194P. Suppose after deducting the tax, then remaining amount we can give in to that whom SSC. Example, in our bank, this SSC maintaining the 15 lakh. Out of that 1 lakh is tax. Please deduct 1 lakh and pay to the central government. Remaining 14 lakh you can keep within the SSC account only directly. Understood? Now, this fellow is not required to file the return. That means in assessment year, no need to file the return of income. Already you paid tax in the previous year only in the form of what ma TDS under section 194P. Sir, this is a relaxation for payment of tax or only for filing of return? Only for filing of return. Not for the purpose of payment of tax. Payment of tax anyhow they deducted during the previous year only. Only this relaxation is for that filing of what ma return. You don't know, after releasing this provision, I think in 2020-21 this provision is inserted. The many specified senior citizens, yes sir, they are approaching to us, they are asking, sir, we are not required to pay the tax, sir. The government is given the relaxation. They given the relaxation, no need to file return. Only if TDS already deducted under 194P. So remember, this is not a relaxation for payment of tax. Tax we can collect directly by using TDS. Only if TDS already collected, then already we collected every amount of rupee from you. Every rupee from you we collected already in the form of TDS. Next year no need to file the return. One more reason also there. He already crossed 75 years of age. We don't want to give any tensions to that person. Yes, in that assessment year, exactly near the due dates. Why? Already he paid tax in the form of TDS only. Every rupee he paid, including cess also. Why we need to give the pressure to this fellow on that assessment year exactly near due dates? If you are given the pressure, okay, that year he will expect. Next year you don't have any chance to collect the TDS also. So that's why don't give any extra pressure to that person for filing return. Done? So 139, 1C also done. Next provision. One 1C done. Next one, ma. Types of returns. What is the types of returns? So types of returns related, we have how many types of returns? 6. First one is nothing but what, ma? Original return. Second one is loss return. Third one is belated return. Fourth one, revised return. Fifth one, defective return. Sixth one, updated return. Yes, sir. How many, ma? 6 types of returns are there. We have to discuss each and every type. But unfortunately, fortunately, we discussed how many types of returns related concepts already? 3. Original return done, loss return done, belated return also done. What are the types already done, ma? Original return, loss return, belated return. But okay, before going to the next concept, I want to know the belated return time limit. If you want to file the belated return, what is the time limit for filing the belated return? Earlier of the 2 dates. What are that, ma? 3 months prior to end of the relevant assessment year or assessment completion, whichever is earlier. Assessment completion is computed figure or given data? Given data. In exam, always they will give the data related to assessment completion. 3 months prior to end of the relevant assessment year means what is that exact date you will get? 31st December of assessment year. Now, we'll discuss about the revised return. What is the name? Revised return. What is the section number? 139.5. What is it? 139.5. Suppose, sir, revised means what, ma? Change, right? Revise means nothing but what, ma? Change. Okay. Sir, already we filed the return under 139.1. Already we filed the return under 139.1. Next, belated return or loss return we file. Any return also, original return also, belated return also, loss return also. Already we file. Within that, we found some mistakes. We found what? Some mistakes. Or we discovered some omission of an expenditures or income. We ignored some incomes in these returns, or we ignored some expenditures in this return, or if any mistake is done, now you have a chance to file the what return? Revised return. That means now MCQ you will get which type of returns now we can revise. Any return also we can revise. That may be original return, belated return, loss return. Any return also we can revise. To be honest, revised return also we can revise. What is that? This return is already we filed. In this also we found some mistake. This return also we can revise. That means answer, any return also we can revise, but within the time limit. What is the time limit? No need to refer again. Whatever the time limit we referred in the belated return. What is the belated return time limit? 3 months prior to end of the relevant assessment year or assessment completion, whichever is earlier. The same time limit here also we have to apply. Now, I will tell you one example only for better understanding of this revised return concept. Mr. X tax audit is applicable or not applicable? Not applicable. If tax audit is not applicable means what is the due date? 31st. Whether you filed or not filed? Not filed. If you not file the original return, you have to file the which return? Belated return. What is the time limit for filing of belated return? 3 months prior to end of the relevant assessment year or assessment completion, whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier. So now assessment completion date I given in the data. So that's why it is only earlier, right? Before this date we have to file belated return. Yes, in our question I only taken the assumption he filed the belated return on this data. Sir, how you know this is belated return? 139.4. 139.4 means nothing but what? Belated return. Now, belated return is filed within the time or after the time? Within the time only. Sir, up to this date we can file the belated return. Yes, we filed within the date or after the date? Within the date. Yes, in this belated return, some mistakes we identified. Can I revise? Yes, same time limit. Belated return time limit and revised return time limit is same. I don't want to check it out again. Within this date, we can revise at any time. Yes, that return only now we revised 139.5. After filing this revised return, in this revised return we identified some mistake. Can I revise? Yes, you can revise, but within the time limit. What is the time limit? 30th 11 2026 before. So that's why this also you can revise. Means, sir, how many times I can revise? N number of times. That means unlimited times you can revise, but within the time limit under section 139 subsection 5. Understood? Here I am taking the example, belated written revised. Revised written again revised. Like how many times? Before this date, any number of times also you can revise. Understood? Now whatever the note points we are going to discuss, these note points are very, 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 very important. Now what are the types of returns we can revise? Original return, loss return, belated return, revised return also. How many times? Unlimited times. But one condition. What is it? Before the date. Whatever the date, last date given under this section, before the date, n number of times you can revise. Now, in this example, whatever the return filed by the SSC, that should be verified by whom? Em kavalamma? Water kavala? Teesko. Listen. Whatever the return filed by this SSC, that should be verified by whom? AO. That should be verified by the AO. Now please check. Here which return should be verified by the AO? That is belated or revised or re-revised. Which return? Latest return. Latest means what is that ultimate return filed by the SSC? Yes, that is 15/9/2026 one return revised by the SSC. That is only final. Sir, originally we filed this return, sir. Even though you filed the original returns also, if you file the revised return, that revised returns will replace the what? Original return. Sir, if you file the revised return, it substitutes the what? Original return. Yes, it substitutes the what? Original return. So that means now assessing officer also will verify the return under section 139(5), which was filed by the SSC on 15/9/2026 only. Latest return, whatever you file, that is only the replaced with the original return. This is only the required to be verified by whom? AO. One more. But generally, okay, now in your cases, there is no tax audit. What is the due date for you for filing return? There is no tax audit in your cases. Example, what is the due date for filing return? 31st. Reply. 31st July. Okay. If I am sending notice, if I am an AO, if I am sending the notice to you before 31st July, example, 20th July, I send a notice. So what is the content of the notice? Sir, please file the return of income. That notice I sent through the speed post or any other media, electronic media, etc. So how you will give response? You can simply give a response. I know what is due date exactly. What is the due date? 31st. Why you are sending the notice to me? I have many works. Why you are disturbing me? Like that only you will give reply. Definitely. Not only you also, any other also give the reply like this only. That's why assessing officers in practical cases also, they will not disturb the SSCs on or before the due date. But once a due date is expired, then they will send the notice to the SSCs under 142(1). It is very important in our examination syllabus, 142(1) notice. This notice always will send by the AO to whom? SSC. Yes, sir. AO is sending the notice to whom? SSC. Can you tell me, after due date this notice we can send or before the due date? After the due date only. Before the due date if you send also, no one will care about it. Sir, what is that intention behind the sending of notices? Are due date already crossed, you are not at all file the return, please file the return. Within next 30 days or within next 15 days, please file the return. if you observe, okay, for 1 year, just file your return. Next year, if you not file the return, automatically they will send this notice after due date. What is the number? 142 subsection 1. Sir, just I am introduced this section in assessment procedures. First section is 142.1 only. We can discuss nearly 1 hour on that time. Okay. Now in response to this notice, SSC is filed the return. In response to this notice, definitely we don't have any chance also. We have to file the return because they given notice. We file return. Sir, after filing this return, we identified some mistakes in this return. Can I revise? No. Sir, you only saying, sir, all returns can be revised. If that returns filed by you voluntarily, you can revise all returns. Here, return filed by the SSE in response to the AO notices. That's why this cannot be revised. If you filed returns on your own, like 139.1, what is that? Original return, 139.3, loss return, 139.4, belated return, 139.5, revised return. These are all the things are filed by on your own interest. That's why you can revise at any time before 139.5 time limits. But here you file the return in response to the one notice given by the AO. What is the notice? Section 142.1 notice that cannot be revised. Dana? Next one. Belated return can be revised. They will issue the notice at any time after the due date. That is your bad luck only. Sir, he is asking a doubt. Sir, after due date, we have a chance to file the belated return. But meanwhile, if they send the notice, you can't do anything. You can't do anything. That is your bad luck. Mostly in practical cases, they will send the notice after expiry of belated return time limit only. Not original limits. Exactly, your time limit will be 31st/7, right? 31st/7. But what is your time limit as per belated return section number? 31st December of assessment. After that, they will send this notice. Because if you are unable to file the return as per 139.1, 139.4, they will give the notice under 142.1. Okay. If any return, if you filed in response to this notice, you can't revise. Okay. Now, I don't know whether you know this, you don't know this point also. SSC want to file the revised return. What is the procedure for filing the revised return? What is the procedure for filing revised return? Okay, example. Previously, I filed the original return. Within that, I forget to claim 1,50,000 chapter 6A deductions. Now, can I send one letter to the AO, sir? I forget to claim the 1,50,000 chapter 6A deduction. Please consider. And if I am given my autograph at the end of the page, they will consider this as a revised return. The revised return means you have to log into the e-filing website and you have to click the option given under 139.5 and you have to fill all the particulars given in that columns. Then only that is called as revised return. So if you observe, if you prepared, if you send any letter or if you send any paper or revise statement to AO, this is cannot be called as a revised return. The revised return means definitely you have to log into that website. Through that website only you have to file. If you are sending the revised paper, revised letter or revised statements, this cannot be considered as a revised return. 4-mark question. Based on this point, they can ask the 4-mark question. SSC forget to claim one deduction, sir. Now he is sending one letter to the AO. AO is not at all considering the letter. And without considering the letter, AO pass the assessment order. Now assessment order is correct or incorrect? Correct only. Because you are not filed the revised return properly. Revised return means nothing but what? Log into the website, fill all the particulars given under section 139 5 columns. Next. My first 3 point understood. First one is what? Whatever the revised return if you file, that will substitute the original return. Next, whatever that return you filed in response to the notice under section 142.1, you can't revise that. Next, if an SSC is sending the letters or revised statements or papers to the AO, that is not an revised return. Done. Next. Generally, I filed a return. I want to get the refund of 50,000. In this return of income also, I file the return. Further getting refund of how much? 50,000. How I can get refund? In the previous year, I paid the TDS, TCS or advance tax. Now our tax liability during the assessment year is low. That's why I can get the refund of how much? 50,000. Now, immediately after filing this return, processing also done. Processing means nothing but department side verification done. And they given the refund also 50,000. Issue closed. After processing, we are getting refund also. Whatever you are placing as a refund, they given that refund. But after few days, our SSC is decided, sir, I wrongly placed a refund 50, sir. Actually, I am eligible to take the refund of how much? 90,000. Can he file the revised return? Yes. After processing, after receiving the refund also, you can file the revised return. There is no issue. But one point, this should be filed within the time limits under section 139.5. This should be filed within the time limits under section what? 139.5. Return of income can be revised under section 139.5. Revised return can be filed, yes ma, even after receiving intimation, even after receiving the refund also. There is no restriction. Example, sir, salaried SCs are received the refund, sir. Can they file the revised returns? Yes. But time limit you have to check. What is the time limit? 3 months prior to end of the relevant assessment year or assessment completion, whichever is earlier. Again, this is a very, very important. Many students or many SSCs also doesn't know about this. So the given refunds are assessment closed. We are not going to file any revised return. That is wrong. Even after receiving intimation, intimation means nothing but processing under section 143.1. And after receiving refund also, after receiving intimation also, if there is a time limit availability, yes, you can file the revised return. Last point, these 5 points, 2 times they asked in the exam. These 5 points, 2 times they asked in that exam. Last one. Sir, a fresh claim means, what is that? Fresh claim means, already I filed deduction. I am not at all claimed the one eligible expenditure as a deduction. Example, ADC 1,50,000 I forget to claim. Now I want to claim before the whom? AO. A fresh claim before the AO. How can I claim? Already I sent one return of income to the AO, but now I want to claim one fresh claim. How? By way of filing revised return. Simply a fresh claim before AO. If you want to claim directly, you can claim by using the what? Revised return. Now, one by one points in revised return. First one is what? First one, it substitutes everyone without seeing the notes. Please check it out the screen only. Screen మీద display అవుతే చూసి చెప్పండి, ఓకేనా? First one, it substitutes the original return. Second one, if any return filed in response to the 142.1 notice, that is also cannot be revised. Third one, After receiving refund, after receiving intimation, we can file the revised return. Next, if any return filed, yes sir, by using the statements, revised letters, this cannot be considered as an return. Last one, a fresh claim before AO, how we can file the revised return only. If you want to claim anything freshly, that may be refund also, or you want to claim any fresh expenditure as a deduction also, how can I say these things to the AO? Only one way. What is it? Revised return. What is the section number for the revised return? 139. Fine. Okay. Please open workbook now. My question number 7 done, I think few minutes back. Question number 8 also done yesterday. Question number 8 also done yesterday. Now we can say, sorry, we can do question number 9. Please start question number 9 reading. This is an past examination question. They given one time for 5 marks. Another time they given this question for 4 marks. Please read. మధ్యలో మాట్లాడుకోవద్దురా, డౌట్స్ ఉంటే డైరెక్ట్గా నన్నే అడగండి, పక్కనోడిని అడగొద్దు. వాడు ఫస్ట్ టైం వింటున్నాడు, లేకపోతే వాడైనా మీకు తాత, వాడికి అన్నీ తెలియడానికి. నాకు చిరాకేసిద్ది, బూతులు కూడా వస్తాయి క్లాస్లో, ఫీల్ అయినా నేనేం పెద్ద ఫీల్ అవను. ప్లీజ్ రిఫర్ ది క్వశ్చన్ ప్రాపర్లీ. Is there any notice section number we have in this question, ma? Notice under 142 subsection 1. Already we know the section number. What is the section 142.1? Notice can be issued by the AO to SSE before due date or after due date. Write it down on the top of the question. Yes, 142 subsection 1. From that you can write an arrow mark and you can write it down. This notice can be sent by the AO to SSE after due date or before due date? After due date. Yes sir, after due date. Now listen, if you know this, then only you can write this question, otherwise you can't write it down. Okay, please check it out, ma. 142.1 notice issued on which date? 24th April. Sir, what is the agenda of giving the notice? They are calling him to file the return of income for this year. In response to said notice, SSE furnished the loss return. SSE furnished the what, ma? Loss return. Now tell me, this loss return filed after due date or before the due date? After only. We received notice itself after due date. In response to that notice, we filed return. That means that is an after due date, before due date? After due date. That means here also you can write. It is what? Loss return filed after due date. Tell me, ma. In this, business loss is there and unabsorbed depreciation is there. Ma first one is nothing but what, ma? Business loss. Second one, unabsorbed depreciation. Both the things he filed in that loss return. Now he wants to know the carry forward point. Can you tell me? Business loss can be carry forward? No. Why? Loss return filed after due date. Unabsorbed depreciation? Yes, we can carry forward. Loss return is enough even after due date also, that's okay. What are the two returns we have to carry? We can carry forward even if loss return filed after due date. Unabsorbed depreciation, house property loss. Unabsorbed depreciation, house property loss. In this question, what, ma? Unabsorbed depreciation. Sir, if you don't know this notice number, notice section number and concept, then you can't write it down. If you know now, that is very easy. 142 subsection 1 notice issued. That is issued by the AO to SC after due date. After due date only I received the notice. After due date only I filed the return. That return is loss return. In that loss return, how many losses I filed? 2 losses. Business loss, unabsorbed depreciation. Business loss unable to carry forward. And unabsorbed depreciation we can carry forward to the next years. Please read that. Uh, ah, Here we mentioned everything. These four things related, we have to file the loss return on or before due date. These related, even after due date also okay. Finally, what is that answer, SSC can entitle to carry forward the UD. UD means what? Unabsorbed depreciation. Carry forward of business losses is available or not available? Not available. Question number 12 now. Question number 12. Tell me, individual, right? He filed his return of income for the assessment year 26-27 on this date. Before the due date or after the due date? What is the due date? Generally 31st 7, but he filed on 15th June only. That's okay. Later he discovered he is not claimed one deduction in ATC. So he forgot one deduction in that return. Now he opted the normal provision. So there is a logic. Why they are given here SSC opted normal provisions? If he opted normal provisions, then only you can claim ATC. If 115 BAC is opted, ATC is not available. For that purpose they given. Now he claimed the deduction by using the letter to the AO. Tell me, if anything, if you want to claim before AO, how you can claim? By way of filing the revised return under section 139(5). A revised letters, revised statements, these are all the things cannot be considered as an revised return. Assessing officer completed the assessment without allowing the deduction claimed by the RAM. Assessing officer is justified. Yes, assessing officer is justified only. Why? Assessing officer no power. Assessing officer has no power to entertain any deduction after filing the return of income otherwise than by way of what? Revised return. If you file return, I will consider that. If you file revised return, that I will consider. Other than these two, I can't entertain anything if you are sending the letters also. Now, ATC if you omit it, that's okay. Yes, you can file the revised return, but instead of revised return, what you send? A letter that cannot be considered as an what? Revised return. That cannot be considered as an revised return. Sir, these are all questions are past exam questions also. Now, my question number 11, and I will take the question number 11 now. Read question number 11. They are given the one sentence. Yes, what is the sentence they given? Yes, this is only the given. And they are asking whether it is correct or incorrect. A fresh claim before AO can be made only by way of filing the what? Revised return, or not otherwise. This sentence is what? Correct. Sir, this isn't decided in one case law. What is that case law? Goitz India Limited versus CIT case law. Sir, as of now, we discussed some case law names. What is our first case law? కొడితే ఎక్కడ చెప్పుకోలేరు. 4th ఫ్లోర్లో కొట్టేశారు మమ్మల్ని అని చూసినోడు కూడా చెప్పలేడు వాళ్ళని కొట్టారని కూడా. అలా కొడతా. Lodi Properties Limited is our second case law. First case law is what? నాకు కొన్ని థాట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. డైరెక్ట్గా ఈ డిసెంబర్ బ్యాచ్కి ఏం చెప్దాంలే, డైరెక్ట్గా ఇన్కమ్ ట్యాక్స్ యాక్ట్ 2025 మెటీరియల్ చేసుకొని నెక్స్ట్ చెప్దాం అన్న థాట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఆల్ ఆఫ్ ది సడన్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ చేంజ్ కూడా అవుతారు కూడా. మళ్ళీ చెప్తున్న ఓపెన్గా, నాకు అంతకు ఏ బ్యాచ్లో చెప్పినంత కష్టంగా ఇప్పుడు ఈ బ్యాచ్లో ఉంది నాకు. మీరు ఎందుకో నాకు తెలియదు అది, బట్ మళ్ళీ ఈరోజు సగం మంది వచ్చారు కాబట్టి దానికి ఉంటుంది. ఏం లేదు, డైరెక్ట్గా రికార్డింగ్స్ ఇస్తాను, మిగతా వాళ్ళు ఎవరో ఒకరు ఫ్యాకల్టీని తెప్పించి చెప్పించేస్తాను. నాకన్నా బాగా చెప్పేవాళ్ళు వస్తారు. మళ్ళీ చెప్తున్నా, నాకు ఆ థాట్ వస్తుంది, ముందే చెప్తున్నా. ఇంకా తర్వాత ఈ బ్యాచ్ వైపు కూడా రాను, ఎందుకు నాకు అవసరం, వేరే సబ్జెక్ట్ ఏం లేదు కదా. ఓపెన్గా చెప్తున్నా అంటే నాకు ఆ థాట్ ఉంది, మీరు ఫీల్ అయినా పర్లా. ఇది యూట్యూబ్ లైవ్లో కూడా ఉంది క్లాస్, కావాలంటే మీరే వినండి పోయి. జస్ట్ 4 క్లాసెస్ ఆర్ 5 క్లాసెస్ అయిపోయినాయి మనకి. మధ్యలో చాలా గ్యాప్ వచ్చింది. మధ్యలో ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ రివైజ్ కూడా చేశాను. అన్ని క్లాసెస్ మళ్ళీ అప్లోడ్ కూడా చేశాను. యూట్యూబ్లో కూడా వరుసగా ఉన్నాయి. సౌందర్య నర్సరీస్ కేసులా, if nursery income is there, that we can constitute directly it as an agricultural income, that we can consider as an agricultural income, even though basic operations are not carried on that land also. Even though basic operations are not carried on that land also, that income can be treated as what? Agricultural income. That income can be treated as agricultural income directly. So next case we discussed in yesterday's session. What is that? Lodi properties. What is that context? If loss return filed in delayed manner due to genuine hardship cases, the loss can be condoned for how many working days? 1 day. Now third one we are discussing. What is that? Goids India Limited. Sir, remember, simply they are saying assessing officer has no power. Yes sir, what is that? Assessing officer has no power to apply the provisions except if you file the what? Revised return. Sir, I will do the assessment on whatever return you file. First you file original return, I will assess it. Meanwhile, if you file revised return, I will consider the revised return only for assessment. Other than that, I don't have any power to give the deductions as well as exemptions also. Yes, clearly, original return, belated return, revised return, and it includes the loss return also. If anything, if you identified wrong in this, you can file the what ma? You can file the what ma? Revised return. Next, there is no provision in Income Tax Act 1961 to make the changes in modifications in the return by way of sending the what? Letter. Sir, if you are sending the letter or statements or revised computation, that cannot be considered as a revised return. The revised return you have to file by using the website. But what is the time limit? Time limit before completion of assessment or 3 months prior to end of the relevant assessment year, whichever is. So statement is correct or incorrect? Correct. But simply AO having limited powers with respect of your return. If you revise that return, he can do assessment only on revised return. The revised return means in website you have to file. The letters, statements or any revised computation cannot be considered as an revised return. Now, question number 10. Before seeing this question, listen some examples. Then after we can go for the question number 10. After this, I think we have 1 or 2 questions only. Question number 10. If you listen properly, this is only the last question. Otherwise, I will start one new concept also. Dealer? Okay. Question number 10. My last year, I haven't lost. How much loss? Example, 6 lakh loss is there in the last year, that too business loss. This year, I have an income 20 lakh. Can I do set off of that earlier year loss against the current year income? If I am doing the set off, what is that impact? Earlier year loss, how much? 6 lakh. Now current year income 20 lakh. After this set off, tell me Anna, I have to pay the tax only on how much ma? 14 lakh. But I forget to do this set off. Normally this is not possible in case of e-filings. Why? Automatically it will be set off. If any earlier year loss is there, it will be auto-populated. but they created question, that's why we can discuss. Okay, in paper filings, you can do this mistake. In e-filing, that means by using the softwares, if you are doing now, last year loss, automatically it will be set up without your intervention also. But in case of paper filing, yes, if you set up, then only that will be possible. But I forgot to set up this loss. I filed return also. I paid tax on how much? 20 lakh. But actually I required to pay tax on how much only? 14 lakh. Now I am asking the AO. Okay, I don't know provisions properly. Okay, in hurry manner I filed return. But while doing assessment, you know I am eligible to claim the set off of how much loss? 6 lakhs. You should do it. Yes, sir. Now we are, so nothing but it's your mistake only. Forget to claim how much? 6 lakh loss. But now you are asking again to whom? AO. Sir, I forget to claim this due to hurry, or I don't know the provisions properly. That's why I filed return. But you know I am eligible to claim the loss of how much amount in that last year? 6 lakh. In the assessment, you should allow it and you need to give the refund, because already I paid how much? 20 lakh related tax I paid. But exactly on how much amount I required to pay the tax? 14 lakh. That means after considering this loss, he should give some refund to me. Now SSC argument is correct or incorrect? Always in our education system, we are always thinking AO is a villain, the taxpayer is from our side. Always, in our entire discussion also, the department is nothing but villain. They will always want to collect the tax from our money. So our side nothing but we are always required to save the tax without paying the tax to department. This intention is wrong. This intention is wrong. Remember, yes, one of the duty of an assessing officer is there. Their duty, there is not a power also. Duty means nothing but responsibility. They have one obligation. What is it? They are required to apply the relevant provisions of the Act in order to determine the SSC total income clearly and tax liabilities. Sir, what is that provision we missed in this case? Set off, that is 70, 71, 72 provisions of the Income Tax Act we are not applied. Now, whose duty to apply that provisions properly? Assessing officer duty. And after that he can compute the true total income. How much? 14 lakh and tax liability. Remember, because SSC not claim the set off of the losses in the return, it cannot relieve the assessing officer duty. So nothing but if SSC is forget to claim, no problem. You have to apply your duty properly. What is the duty? You can give the loss whatever he not claimed in the return. That means AO also working for our side only. They remember this fact. For this question only you should remember. The remaining question always we will think in reverse way only. Sir, this is nothing but a duty given. But CBDT also given one circular. What is a circular content? Assessing officer required to give the assistance to the taxpayer in all reasonable manners for getting the reliefs as well as refunds. So based on one duty and as per circular also, assessing officer have a responsibility to give the losses set off if that is not filed by the whom? SSCs. So that means on the basis of above, assessing officer is bound to allow the set off of brought forward losses under section 72 even if SSC is not claimed in the return. Yes, provided, remember, this loss related return if you filed in the last year, then only we can do the carry forward of that loss to what? Next year. That's why that is only the condition. Yes, sir. Provided one condition. Loss was determined in the 139 subsection 3 in the earlier previous year. If you file the loss return in this year, then only you can carry forward the loss to that what? Next year. That condition they attached here. Sir, for this they will allocate 1 mark in this. They are asking simply duty of AO related question. But within that, how you can carry forward earlier year losses to the present year, provided if you file the loss return in the earlier years. That point you need to mention, further they will allocate 1 mark. What is the answer, ma? Clearly, first see the question first. Assessing officer bound to allow the set-off of brought forward losses under section 72 even if SSC not claimed in the return. Yes, that statement is nothing but correct only. Even though we forget to claim any loss also in return, who haven't duty to do that all the things, ra? Assessing officer. So that statement is correct or incorrect? Ra? Statement is 100% correct. If you are unable to apply any deductions properly, who haven't duty to apply the deductions? Ra? AO. Understood? For this question only, we can think always assessing officer also working for ourselves only. That means he is our favorite person for this question. Remaining all cases we can think what in reverse way only. They will always try to collect the tax. We are always trying to save the tax. Dana? Syllabus. Only law and SFM. Huh? SFM and DM. Huh? DM, how many chapters done? 1 chapter. Which chapter? Simulation. Okay, big chapter. Super. Okay. So now question number 10, 11 and 12. Question number 10, 11, 12. Very important. Question number 12 is very easy. He needs to file the return, that to revise the return, but he sent letter. That is correct or incorrect? Incorrect. Question number 11 also very easy. If he want to claim anything freshly before AO, how we can claim the revise the return only? Letters also, these are all the things will not accept. Next, if I forget to claim anything in my return, can I expect the same thing from the AO? Yes. If you forget to do anything in your return, no problem. AO is your friend only. He will do everything for you in a reasonable way for getting the refund or relief. Dana? Now. So what are the things we added today's session, Ra? Yes, we added. So we added some more discussions to the today's session. If you observe, 139 what ma? 1C we discussed. What is that 139 1C? Relaxation from filing of what ma? Return. Relaxation from filing of return. So next, and we discussed the one more, that is on 139.5. What is that? Revise return. Done. So few more types of returns are there. That is what? Original return done, loss return done, belated return done, revise return done. Next one ma? Defective return. What is that ma? 139 subsection 9. What is that? Defective return. Okay, we'll discuss tomorrow only. What is that? Defective return. Next, 139 8A. What is that ma? 139 capital 8A. What is that? Updated return. Sir, updated return related provisions will discuss in the further chapter separately. I think if you refer your index, I given 139.80 update written separately as a chapter. Because if you want to know the update written concept in and out, you need to get a knowledge about the 2 chapters. One is an assessment procedure chapter. One is an assessment procedure chapter knowledge is required. After that, assessment procedure plus advanced tax and interest chapter knowledge also required. After these 2 chapters, I will tell you updated return. And remember, updated return is an amendment for our June as well as December 2026 exams. There is one amendment in the updated return. Separately, I will discuss. That means in types of returns, only one type is pending. What is that? Defective return. Yes, sir. Tomorrow we can discuss about the defective return and remaining concepts. We can close this chapter. Thank you.